And the big piece of news is that Jim Benning will be back as GM as the Vancouver Canucks next season.
Wow.
I think we all thought the decision was going to go the other way, but Elliot reporting, good friend Elliot Friedman from the show, great guy, confirming on Twitter yesterday that the guy's coming back. It's a bold decision. The Sedins are coming back for something yet. We don't know exactly. It's not a decision-making thing.
They're going to save the team. They're going to buy it and save the team.
If they're like player development, like that's cool. I think that's fine. But like, why is Jim coming back? Like, I really thought
you didn't say how I wrote it in the doc.
But what? He stayed?
Yeah.
Well, it's true. He's staying.
Yeah. Get it?
No.
That was like a chant they did like the whole season for Kawhi Leonard.
He stay?
Yeah, he stay.
How did that work?
And there's like speculations like, oh, he has a Shoppers Drug Mart bag on vacation. No one does that.
See, it didn't work there. They should have been doing it all year in Vancouver. Instead of saying Benning out, they should have been saying Benning in.
Well,
come on, guys. I'm trying to help you. I'm on your side.
I don't know if Benning staying is going to help that team.
No,
but it's reverse psychology. It's reverse psychology.
It feels like it's just been such a mess in Vancouver. No one wants to be there. There was so much discourse at the end of the year for their COVID stuff. I just think they needed to start anew. If they can bring Green back, maybe that will help. But I mean, at this point, there are reports that apparently some of their players aren't going to stay for their exit interviews. They're just going to go straight home.
But even if they bring back Travis Green, and I'm not saying what happened this year was Travis Green's fault, like pre-COVID, post their COVID outbreak, like I don't even want to include that part because it's just very messy. But pre-COVID, they weren't great.
No, because they don't have a roster.
Right. So like, even if they bring back Travis Green, we know how good of a coach Travis Green can be. Look at what he did with a different roster the year before that. It's like, you need to give this guy more than just nothing in the bottom six and then claiming Travis Boyd and Jimmy Vesey and saying, well, here you go, Travis, have fun.
Yeah, they need to call Seattle and say, take a contract.
Well, they're not going to do that.
I think bite the bullet and give them their first this year.
At the end of the day, regardless, and we can repeat what we've said all the time about Jim Benning, is you need to look at the results. And they haven't won with them. You can say what you want about development of that. They have not won. And if Jim Benning left today, that roster is in a terrible shape with its contract. And I think that's the way you judge the guy. Like, there's that saying of you coach it, you determine how well a GM is doing of how they left the team compared to when they got it.
Right.
And no offense, but you got lucky with Pettersson. And you got lucky with Hughes. Now, of course, you get him, you get credit because, great, you got the players. No one else has them. You have them. But like, you have a skeleton crew of a forward core and a defensive core. I don't think it's a boneheaded decision to bring him back. Everyone thought he was leaving. You know what? I'm sure we'll talk to Harman Dial next time we can get him on the show. It's just the wrong decision for Vancouver, and I don't see how this team is really going to be. Somehow, over the course of one summer, they went to, okay, we can maybe make a next step, maybe fight for, like, if they could win a round, to all of a sudden they're back at the bottom of the barrel.
Like, look at just the moves they've made in, let's say, the last 18 months, like since the start of COVID. They let Judd Brackett walk, who, by all accounts of everything I've read about this guy, seems to be great at scouting in terms of the draft. And now he's in Minnesota. They let Tyler Toffoli walk without offering him a contract. So they re-signed Jake Virtanen. So they literally signed Jake Virtanen and let Tyler Toffoli walk. Like, let that sink in for a second.
Yeah.
Then they did Tanner Pearson's contract before doing Ian Clark, who.
Well, hold on. Before we get there, we should mention that they, just benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
They did get Nate Schmidt.
They got Nate Schmidt for pennies on the dollar. Yes.
That like saved Jim Benning in the summer.
Okay, Tanner Pearson.
They did the Tanner Pearson contract. and they don't have their head coach signed for next year, and they don't have their goaltending coach for signed for next year. And look at what he's done to Thatcher Demko, and with Jacob Markstrom.
Yeah. And I mean, since leaving, Markstrom hasn't been
The same.
And we know how weird goalies are. If you can get someone that can help with them, it does wonders. Anything else on Benning, or do we want to quickly move on to?
I think there's going to be a lot more as this unfolds. That there's going to be another like feature or something on this. So I think we're just going to stay tuned.
I'm worried with the Courtnall stuff that they're gonna bring in almost this kind of committee, and then the too many chefs are gonna ruin the broth here. That's what I'm concerned about. Is there needs to be one, there needs to be the one clear voice, one clear vision. And we know that Aquilini loves to get involved. He's getting his guys in there. And then like the Sedins, like, no, they don't strike me as the kind of people they're going to be like, yeah, this, but still I don't know as well if that's a shield against the consumer confidence that Elliot mentioned. I'm getting really, really worried here in Vancouver because from reports of Freeman and out over the past few days that Benning is going to have complete God damn it, autonomy? Is that the word?
Autonomy.
He's not going to have full control of this, which might be a good thing, but owners are impatient, which is a terrible thing to hear about.